everyone. Welcome to another episode of Making Sense. So Making Sense is NBC's podcast where we really just dive into banking topics and try to break them down so it's more understandable for the general public. Today, I have Max Florestano with me. Max is the risk and fraud manager, and we're going to be talking about online banking. Max, welcome. Thank you for joining. Let's start with online and mobile banking and what really is it?
They're pretty much the same. A lot of things, looking at your transactions, doing bill payments for our commercial customers, doing ACH, wire transactions, those type of things. The big difference is there's just some tools you can use a little differently. So things like remotely depositing checks, that's going to be on a mobile device rather than your laptop. But really taking those tools that as banking history goes, have always been done in a branch and giving those tools to do those digitally.
Okay. A lot of people, I think, wonder this. So how safe really is online and mobile banking?
Example I go to is a safe deposit box. It's really the most secure thing. Yeah, come into a branch when we're open, have the key, have the matching key, open it up, you're in that room. Everything after that, you're starting to have a little bit more risk tied into it. Online banking and mobile banking are relatively really safe. We have a lot of systems in our background kind of working that help protect you and kind of can put you at ease while using it. There's stuff, obviously, customers can be using things like password protection, username protection. If you're using a lot of generic logins, reward sites, shopping, those type of things, your banking username and password should always be independent of that.
Okay. Is doing your banking on your desktop or your mobile phone, is one safer than the other?
When we think of anytime we're dealing with computers, there's a little bit more entry points. There's things, emails can be compromised, things like that. When you're doing a mobile banking app, you're downloading, for instance, our NBC banking app from the App Store. It's us, that you're logging in with your information, you're seeing your information, and that's all verified. Versus when you're on a computer, it's a little bit easier to kind of mimic websites. You can get links clicked. Sometimes, business email compromise, things like that can kind of infect your computers. The good news is there's a lot of tools out there that can help minimize that, both tools we're using at the bank, but also that especially businesses use on their computers, but even regular consumers as well.
Okay. What method of contact are you seeing is the most prevalent when scammers are reaching out? Are they texting with people and then people are sharing information via text?
I'd say right now it's a lot of text messages. We do see it still with phone. We see it with emails. Those are always going to be around, but really the ones that are getting a little bit more savvy, or we're seeing maybe some people get a little bit more tripped up, are those text messages.
Okay. Do you find that fraudsters play into what's happening politically or seasonally when they're trying to get you to react to a certain message?
Absolutely. In April, we're going to see tax fraud schemes. When we get to especially federal elections, there's things with donations and claims and things like that are going to change. A big thing in the news was people getting a lot of text messages for past due tolls, even in states that don't have tolls. So a lot of concern, a lot of people just delete those, but some people, you see a fine, you see my driver's license going to be affected, and I clicked a link. Depending on what happens after that, that's where, we can kind of do some work or ask some questions to see what happened. And it's something where they're really good at trying to time up where in your head, this makes sense. I'm getting a text message from the IRS because it's around my taxes, or I'm getting a message from what is Amazon and it's really not Amazon because it's Black Friday and I just spent a lot of money at Amazon. So they really do time up those type of things to try and kind of lower your guard and go, well, this would make sense that I get a message like this.
Yeah. What's one thing you find that people do that make them an easier target for scammers?
I think something that can make an individual an easy target is kind of the speed at which they're evaluating what they're getting sent. They'll often say, I was just moving too quick. take a second or two, take a deep breath before kind of proceeding or evaluating it. That's when you start to notice, well, there's some misspellings, or I don't bank at this bank, or I've never signed up for this. So I'd always say kind of slow down, be intentional, and then some things usually will kind of jump out to you.
Mm-hmm. What would you say are the most important things that customers can do to keep their accounts secure?
Password complexity. Using passphrases instead of passwords. I know it's very easy to say banking $1 or something and just change the number every time you think you want to change it. I understand there's lots of passwords out there, but again, kind of isolating that banking password is something a little bit more secure, and then opting into some of those optional security protections. So it can be a pain to say, yep, I got to send a code to my phone and enter it in, but that is an extra layer of security. Really, that's proven quite secure.
Okay, I've always wondered this. My online banking password, where do I store this thing?
The one big thing that I would say is, especially for people, businesses, people in college, roommates, those type of situations, don't write it on a pad. That's just the easiest way for someone to fall into the wrong hands. Passkeys is a great way to do that, though. Okay. That helps kind of protect that.
Okay. And what about the face recognition? That's a good one?
Yep, that is a good thing. Again, the biometrics are very good. It's not like they can really pull up a picture of you off the internet and get it to take the Face ID. It's looking for some complexity on it. So it is an extra tool to be secure and kind of, again, that layered approach of having not just your password, but those extra steps.
Okay. So you mentioned maybe noticing something on your account a little too late. How often should somebody be opening up their mobile app or logging into online banking and just taking a look at their accounts?
I would say every day. I mean, it's something always good to check. And even if it isn't something fraudulent or something that you need to act on immediately, you kind of have that peace of mind of knowing you've checked, everything's going good, and you can go about your day.
So you obviously see and experience fraud quite often. Can you tell us just a real quick story about what's the most common type of fraud story that you're hearing that our customers are experiencing, and kind of paint the picture of what happens so then people can kind of put themselves in the shoes and be like, okay, now I know what to look out for?
Yeah, I think a real common story or a common theme we see is clicking a link, entering information, being prompted to enter information, and then not doing anything about it. One of the biggest things I think, unfortunately, is people get embarrassed. And I completely understand that. Mm-hmm. They feel a little foolish. They clicked a link. They might not want to reach out to their bank right away because they're just going, oh my gosh, you're beating themselves up about it. It happens. It happens at banks. It happens for consumers. It happens all over the map. The biggest mistake is not acting on that, and it kind of almost compounding that error, so to speak. So I think that's the thing is we've seen it before. We deal with it quite a bit. We're going to help you out and get you on the right path. But I would say that's the biggest thing is don't have fear in contacting your bank when you've clicked something or you're worried your information has been given up.
Yeah. Okay, so it seems like we do a lot for our customers when they find themselves in this situation. I feel like we almost go above and beyond. Is that typical?
I would say yes and no.
We have we have a fraud department.
Yep. I would say we are fairly unique in having a department that's kind of solely dedicated to fraud. Our goal is that's something I take personally. My team does, people that I work with is, we would treat our customers like family basically. And I would not want to have a family member or a friend go through this, be uncertain. That's really the benefit to our customers in providing that service.
Yeah, that's awesome. What would you tell somebody who, after watching this video, still feels nervous about online or mobile banking? How would you reassure them?
The big key is knowing that they are secure. We have systems in place. Come into one of our branches, speak to one of our bankers. They can walk you through the processes, how to set up alerts and those type of things that are really going to be more of that benefit than waiting for, say, a paper statement in the mail or checking when they're coming into the teller line and then maybe noticing something a little too late, and now it creates a little bit more of a headache to fix.
Okay. If you could give our customers one rule to follow to keep their money safe online, what would it be?
If I could give our customers one kind of rule to stand by to keep their information safe, I would say not clicking links. That's where really the most danger starts from, is clicking a link, opening something, kind of getting tied into that web of entering in something, that unsurety. I think not clicking a link, always the best way to go. Got it.
Again, Max, thank you. It's always great having you on. I think that you're just a wealth of knowledge, and the bank is so lucky to have you, as are our customers, that he's kind of your second shield here at the bank. And like you said, if you ever do find yourself in kind of a sticky situation, don't feel embarrassed. Don't hesitate to call. You're going to do everybody a favor in the long run. So again, thank you for joining, and we'll see everybody next time. Thank you.